a lot of people do is they don't risk because they're because of safety.
But in reality, like their security is relying on someone else.
Exactly.
Where your security can be relying on yourself.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, a company is just a corporation who they, as much as everyone wants to tell you otherwise, they care about money.
Welcome back to the Maeband podcast.
That's right. We are back and we have a guest with us.
His name is Cody Crabb.
And it's going to be super awesome because I think there's a lot of people out there trying to do podcasts and editing and all sorts of stuff with the YouTube
channels.
Yeah, YouTube channel. So he is an editing guru and he helps people start their podcasts and YouTube channels. Nice to meet you, Cody.
Thank you so much.
So what got you into wanting to help people do this?
Well, it's as it always is, like I never planned this, like it just kind of happened. It ended up happening. So my in-laws are actually YouTubers themselves.
Oh, nice.
They lived here locally. They just moved out of state. And they had this really big following all of a sudden. They got like a ton of subscribers all at once.
That happens.
The Beach House. I don't know if you've
heard
heard
Beach
of
House. I haven't heard of that. No.
But they got like over 1 million subscribers pretty quickly. Like they went from where they were to 1 million so fast. Wow. And they were like, help, we need some help. And so I just was like, yeah, let's, let me help you out. And so they kind of hired me full time to kind of do it. And I learned a lot about YouTube and stuff then, but so that's how I kind of got into like, oh, I really like assisting people to do this. Kind of grew into full time. And so for the past few years, I've been doing this for full time, and then kind of bringing in the video side from before, like getting kind of knowing the social media side and stuff. And then now learning how to Vidit-edio. That's what we do. Hopefully someone vidits that out of this. But
somebody's got to vidit that out.
But so combining all of those together kind of made it so I could do it. But
very cool. And so do you have your own podcast?
I don't. I did for a long time.
Okay. What did you talk about? What did you do?
Funny enough, it was it was called Create Loud. And the whole point was like talking to creatives and other people that were kind of like wanting to do something like with their life, like live their dream or something, and like help them. Like I wanted to like encourage people to do it. But ironically, this whole time I'm like not doing it. I was like working at some like corporate job, but I was so passionate about it because I'm like, this is what you should do. Yeah.
I think that's typical, right? I throw out a whole bunch of crappy, or I'll say good advice. I throw out advice all the time. And then I'm just like the exact opposite person when I'm like, be positive, be good. Then as soon as the camera's like, no, I hate life. Everything's stupid.
Though, I think the reason we tend to do that is because I think we know what we should do.
Oh yeah.
Like if we were advising ourselves, we'd say the same thing. Yeah. It's just like, it's a lot harder to follow your own advice.
Yeah. Like with what you were just saying. So we kind of did the same thing. We had this like little transition. I was a landscaper. I had a landscaping company. She had her own business. And I'm just like, my job sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I was kind of the same way where I was like, I make decent money here. I don't know if I can make anything doing YouTube, but I kind of want to do it.
I have a question. Do you feel like that it was like inspired, or do you feel like it just kind of fell in your lap?
So I had been working customer service jobs since college. I'm a really personable guy. I'm not like quick to get upset and stuff. Perfect fit for customer service. And so I'm like getting these customer service jobs, working like collections, which is the worst.
I can imagine.
It's just awful. And so in 2018, I'm working for this company. It's now Walmart, but it was a website called jet.com. And it was basically just an e-commerce kind of website like Walmart was, but they bought them out. And they had this 16-week parental leave policy.
Oh, wow.
This was around the time when I started doing the YouTube stuff a little bit on the side. Like I was kind of doing it. And they were kind of like, this is really helpful. Thanks so much. And so they were kind of toying with, hey, maybe you should like quit. And I'm like, I know like the feeling of the YouTube thing, but imagine like, this is someone else's YouTube. Yeah. This isn't even me. This is their stuff.
That would be hard.
So I was like, this is your unstable career, not mine. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I didn't really ever fully want to dive in, but I was kind of doing some stuff and for some side money or whatever. And this is, so like I said, and this 16-week parental leave, I was kind of like, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is totally it. I can kind of have a trial run. It was 16 weeks is a long
that is a
leave,
long time.
especially in 2016. And for the dad, that was just unheard of.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is it. We're going to do it. The end of the year comes, like the very end of the year, December 29th or so. I know the date because it was just crazy, but my wife, sorry, I was trying to think of the order because it's very important.
She's somebody close to me. I don't know. What's her name?
So my wife was at her brother's house. I get this frantic phone call that something was wrong with her spine, and she had just bent over. Oh, wow. And like excruciating, like made her pass out level pain. So she goes to the emergency room. I'm like, oh, okay, man, I got to get up there. So I go there, and then I come back home, and on my way back, I get in a car accident. Oh, wow. A bad car accident. It's one of those ones where like I should not have been alive kind of things. A guy was driving the opposite direction as me, and he had a trailer on the back of his car, and it just flew over the median.
Just like head on with it?
Full on head on crash. And it was even faster than a head on crash because he was coming the other direction. Jeez. And I had not a scratch on me.
That's crazy.
Not a single scratch. My feet hurt because I went like this up on the trailer, and it was like my feet hit at 100 miles an hour. But I was totally fine.
That's crazy.
So all this happens in like the same day. And so it turns out my wife's going to need surgery.
Was it a disc?
It was a disc. It was a disc. Yeah. Yeah. And I have my very good Walmart insurance by this point. They're not going to cover it. And it's going to be like $12,000. And so I'm like, if I quit, I can just get different insurance. Because if I didn't quit right that day, then it would have like carried over to the end of the month, and then I couldn't apply for the new insurance. It was a whole thing. Basically, so that day I just drove to work, and I'm like, I guess it's my last day. And so that happened. And then I was working for this YouTube family for a while, and it was good, but eventually they kind of changed the direction of what they were doing, and they didn't need an assistant anymore. Okay. So I was like, okay, back to Corporateville. I totally felt like I failed. I was like, I made the jump. I was never supposed to go back. And I was all bummed out. Did 2 corporate jobs. Then this was COVID time. Yeah. And I was working from home and stuff. I had this job during COVID. I switched jobs during COVID. And then I was like, I need to do something. COVID was starting. This is the end of 2021. COVID started to kind of slow down. And I was like, I kind of had a few podcast clients, but not anywhere near enough to kind of fully support us. And so I thought, I need to make a move. I need to do something that's like a step in the right direction. And I found out about this convention called Podcast Movement. And it's like just podcasters from everywhere come to the same place. And I thought, cha-ching, right? Like I'll meet people that have money to invest in their podcast was my thinking. And so I go to this convention. I got a bunch of clients all at once, just everything just boom.
And so what were your clients? What did they consist of?
Well, just anything, like anything and everything. There's a podcast about senior citizens. There was a podcast
so
about
you would help with the podcast.
Yeah. Gotcha. So they already had an existing podcast, or they wanted to start one, but weren't sure exactly what to do. Okay. So that was kind of my role. Is I just go, you have your thing that you want to do. You don't want to be the person that has to manage all of this. Okay. So I'll just take everything over. I'll tell you what buttons to push and what to do. And if advise you like, hey, should we be doing some kind of outro or something? And I can kind of tell you, this is what a lot of people do or whatever. So it slowly became, I was already pretty much an expert from all these clients that I'd had, but it was this final, like the numbers added up, like nothing's ever secure kind of thing. Yeah. And I think it was that thing in 2018 that made me go like, nothing is, even if I have this unstable thing, that things could still, or even if I had this stable thing, look what happened. Yeah. So like I had this plan and everything, and it just, the reason it didn't work out had nothing to do with me. Yep. And if that can happen in a corporate job, I mean, if it can happen in a corporate job, why am I still here? Yeah. That was the thing I was scared of happening by myself. Was,
yeah. And that's what I think of a lot of people do is they don't risk because they're because of safety. They're like, I got this good job. I mean, it's not good. I don't like it, but it's security, right? Yeah. So they don't pursue their ambition.
But in reality, like their security is relying on someone else.
Exactly.
Where your security can be relying on yourself.
Yep. And at the end of the day, a company is just a corporation who they, as much as everyone wants to tell you otherwise, they care about money. And if you don't, it doesn't make sense for them to have you as an employee they're going to cut ties with you and they're not even going to feel bad about it.
And they could go out of business. I mean,
right,
look at Enron. I mean, there's so many out there that they disappear one day and you're like, well, crap, I thought I had a secure job. Now I'm out on the street.
I mean, even lately, you've heard so many stories about like what Amazon, Google.
I can't remember.
Google is what, 20,000?
Yeah.
Google is 20,000.
That's what I'm thinking of. 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Those people are probably like, I work for Google. I'm never getting laid off. You know, and then, hey, sorry, we got to lay off 20,000 of you. So it's crazy.
I know.
So like, that's what I always say is like, man, when I had a secure job, I thought I had a secure job, and I was just, like I said, I'm just like, this could change at any moment. I'm just going to pursue what I think will work. Luckily it has. I mean, it's not working so great lately, but but we're still trying. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to just, I kind of go along with what we've talked about. Just literally if you have an idea, go after it. Like if you have a passion, if you have something that you really want to work on, just go after it. Cause it's just, you know, you could be unhappy thinking you could be on your deathbed 40 years from now, you're like, gosh, dang it. Why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
I could have done. That would have been so fun. You know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy.
In my experience, most of my regrets are about things that I didn't do and not things that I did do.
Yeah.
In my life. Like, I wish I had done this. I wish I'd done this. I used that logic to buy a 30-year-old RV last year. So maybe don't fully take my advice. I was one of those like, well, I mean, what if I never do this? It's so cheap. Don't do that. But my point is like, you're never gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna say you're never gonna regret things that you do, but I think most of the time, at the very least, it's gonna be an experience. And I want just all the experiences. So
yeah, that's a great point. Like you're gonna fail. People are gonna fail. But then, you know, and over my failures, I can look back and like, oh, what an idiot. Why did I do that? But then
you learn.
On the flip side, I'd be like, oh, I'm glad I did that because I learned a lot. And if I hadn't done it, I would be thinking about all the things that could have happened. You're like, oh, if I had done that, what if it blown up? You know, so it's better to just do and fail than not do it all.
If I had never worked for this family of YouTubers that are my in-laws, I never would have gotten a lot of these skills that I needed, which is now like the majority of my clients are like, let's do YouTube now. My podcast is working, but I want to add video. Like I wouldn't have had a lot of these skills already. And I mean, if I hadn't gone to school for music production, I wouldn't have known audio software, which got me into a career that I could actually enjoy and do for myself. So, I mean, moving forward is the important thing. Not so much what you're doing. It's just do something. Like pick a thing. You don't have to like quit your job tomorrow, but like go get some education in the thing that you want to do and like make a step forward. And then just even if you don't use it exactly how you think. I mean, right now, one of my strengths is contacting clients, like the kind of back and forth that you get with clients, because I'm really good at business writing because I had like 10 years in customer service. And so I think I think that, you know, you never know what's going to add up to your success individually. And I think it's important. Just move forward somehow and you'll work and it'll give you an advantage you don't even know yet. Yeah.
I've actually heard that before, like to almost make it a goal to fail. Like if you're in like sales or whatever, it's like, okay, my goal this month, I think I read it in a book somewhere.
To fail 100 times.
Is to like not get like 10 clients. So every time they like didn't get one, it's like, oh yes, I like am towards the goal. But in that like failing, like they made a game out of it. But in that failing, they actually gained.
Yeah, because they're prepping themselves to fail.
Well, not only that, I love that because if I'm pitching to clients and they all say yes to me, my prices are too low. Like if someone says no, that means like, oh, good. Like I'm at least too expensive for one person. Like I'm at least, you know, I have if I'm just getting yeses left and right constantly, I need to start looking at myself. Like what do I need to change? I like that.
I think another thing that at this day and age, it's really easy to do anything. Like, you know, I am not a tech savvy guy. And then we were like, hey, we're going to do YouTube. I learned how to edit. Like just from watching YouTube videos, you know, I'm like, okay, I don't know how to edit. I watched a couple of videos. I'm like, okay, I could do that. And I think anybody can do anything nowadays. Like
we're in like an information renaissance, right?
Oh yeah.
Like what took people a whole degree to learn. Like you can learn in like a couple of months now. Just by kind of looking video editing. I didn't go to school for video editing. I just opened up a I opened up a program and was like, I'm going to try it. And I just was like, for practice, I was like with my buddy, like, can we just do a YouTube channel so I have something to edit?
Yep.
And we did. And we've been doing it for 4 years now. We're called the Side Quest Guys.
Side Quest?
Side Quest Guys. Yeah. And our whole thing is like, we got together and we're like, hey, we're getting old. We need to do like, we don't have anything to show for it. Like, let's try stuff. Let's do new stuff. And so it's like the whole point is like, life side quests. So we do stuff that we've never tried before. I started this. It was a lot harder to like get a podcast online and stuff like that. Then and now it's like, oh, there's all these free tools. You don't even have to pay money. Like it's wild to me. Yep. And now we're all carrying a camera and a microphone in our pockets. That's better than half the stuff that I was using in college. Like I mean, not a microphone, but you get what I'm saying. And so it's just amazing. And like you said, just if you want to learn about something, you want to pursue something, just
figure it out.
Find
it's out there.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's out there. I mean, I guess I don't recommend that for like doctors, but
well, and that's the thing. That's the thing. You could get that can teach you enough to get interested.
Yeah, get you into it. But I'm saying if I go to the hospital, I'm hoping my doctor didn't learn how to do heart surgeries on YouTube. It's like,
I would do anything to not work at like a regular like 9 to 5 again, because it's being able to control my schedule, but not just control my schedule. Like I don't have to work on something I don't want to.
Yep.
I can go, I don't really like editing this. So I'll find you someone else. Bye. And just be done.
And then as you get older, I don't know how old you are.
I'm 30. 31. I just turned 31.
Oh, you're an old man. So and that's the thing is like as you start even getting older, you know, I'm in my mid 40s now and I'm just like, man, my time is very valuable to me. Even though I waste most of it, like on my phone, on Reels or something, but
you choose to.
I choose to do that.
Exactly.
If I choose to do that, that's fine. But I'm not being forced into doing something I don't want to do if I'm going to choose something to waste my time in my life away.
Well, and there's that corporate thing of like, oh, I feel like I have to be at my desk for X amount of time, even though I don't really need to. Like that's the worst feeling. Just knowing that your time is being wasted for you and you're not even benefiting from it. That's the worst.
Yeah. And then also sitting, like if you did work for a corporate job, I don't like the idea of making other people money. Which I'm fine. I get it, but I'd rather make myself money.
Of course.
It's just like, I worked for people before and I'm like, I'm just working my butt off to make this guy rich. Yeah. I'm like, why am I not working my butt off to make me rich?
That principle too is actually something that's really important to me. I've kind of gotten to the point now where I have like some overflow, like when I'm run out of time and I work with kind of other editors, but I refuse to be like their boss. I will not do that. I'm like, you're my equal. We are doing the same work. You're getting paid the same. I'm paying you for like what I would get paid because that's, you know what I mean? Like I agree with you. Like I don't want to be anybody's boss. I want to give other people opportunities. And that's kind of what I've been able to do too. That's another, it's just expands. Like the more you're able to do for yourself and your family, like it starts to kind of bleed over. The more you're able to, it's just being able to help my mom move something during the day because she's not the youngest woman anymore. And I can lift a big heavy box down the stairs because she needs some help. And it's just really cool to be able to do that.
It's important to like be able to help people out. Like everybody that works for us, we love being able to help them out. I wish we could do more most of the time, but we're trying to grow so we can do more for everybody. That's like, all right, we got to get big so we can just help everybody out. I think that's our ultimate goal.
I totally relate to that completely. Yeah. The content creation world is like blowing up right now. Yep. Everybody, every company, anybody is like,
and you never know what's going to hit.
Yep.
Right.
You never know. Like I
Harmon's had a podcast.
Everybody to this guy. He was an auto detailer. And then he just started filming it on YouTube and he blew up and he makes a fortune just detailing cars. And I'm like, see,
probably makes more money on YouTube. Detailing
I guarantee
way more.
I would do it for free.
Way more money, like way more money. And I'm just like, I tell everybody, I'm like, what do you do for a living? This, film it, put it on YouTube because you never know.
Have you ever heard of Breadface?
Breadface? No.
It's this Instagram account where, wait for it, a girl smashes her face into bread.
Yeah, I could see
and
that.
it's one of those just like, I don't know why it blew up, but it did.
Is that all she does?
That's all she does now.
It's crazy.
I'm like, that's why I tell people, like, if you think you have a decent idea, it's better than like 80% of ideas. Yep. So like, if you think if it's a reasonable, hey, it has a path to actually making money type idea, then it's a better idea than you actually think because there's Breadface.
And That's what we always tell everybody is like, don't get caught up on making it professional and making it perfect, because you never will. Like right now, if I look back in a year on this podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. I should have done this better. Yeah. I shouldn't have done that. I should have said this. And so that's what we did on our Utah. Like we just did it. A year down the road, I'm like, oh my gosh, we should delete those videos. Those are really bad. They are really bad.
You know what I say? I say no, because other people that are looking at the channel can go back on our very first videos and they can see how we've grown.
See how ridiculous we were.
No, that's inspiring to people.
Well, and also like that, you're never gonna. That's how you learn. You record a video, and then you go to edit it, and you go, our audio is like completely unhearable. So you get
first podcast.
Right. But that's what I mean. So like you can't make the mistakes in advance.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you're into YouTube, being on camera is what gets you better.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and Holly, like especially me being on camera, I was just like, hi, I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, I was awful. I mean, funny story. I always tell everybody, Holly and I got asked to be in a political campaign commercial. They freaking edited me out. Like they just chopped me out. I'm like all excited. I'm like, I'm going to be in this guy's commercial. That shows Holly. I'm like, wait,
that is literally
film something.
That is quite literally the scene in Monsters Inc. where he's like,
oh, it was big. Yeah.
He's like, can't wait to be on TV. Yeah. And everyone's like,
that's what it was like. It was like that. I was all excited. It was this big thing. He's like, hey, everybody come watch the new commercial.
Oh, that's so
I'm like,
funny.
Well, they added me out because but I get it. I was so awkward. I was like, hey, on camera, you should vote for this guy. He's nice. Like it was awful, but I've gotten better.
You're never going to, my thing is create something bad. Yeah. It's going to be bad.
Just
the first time you do it, doing something is better than doing nothing. Yep. So moving forward is always going to be a better choice than not.
If you watch this podcast, you're going to hear that over and over because we hit on that like crazy. Yeah. Just do it. Yeah. Not Nike, but just do it. So
start with what you've got.
Yep. For sure.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming here. And
of course.
With
us.
This has been great. Really enjoyed getting to know you and hearing your story. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Yours too.
Really
and we just became best friends. So
best friends. So if you guys make sure you guys go check out his stuff. Mm-hmm. If you guys need, we'll give out his information. If you guys need some help on doing podcasts or whatever it is you guys want to do, we'll put his information down below. Maybe a link or something. But
CodyCrabb.com.
CodyCrabb.com.
I got it.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks as always for watching Maeband.
See ya.